Again, I welcome you all to today's session where we'll be exploring how you can use Zoho Bookings and Zoho Contracts together to automate your appointment scheduling process and to manage your contracts. So I am Siva, product marketer from the Zoho Bookings team. We also have Akhil on the panel who will be later helping us out with the contract management process using Zoho Contracts. So in today's agenda with regarding in respect to Zoho Bookings, we'll be first taking a look at the different ways that we engage and communicate with our leads. Then we'll be exploring the different ways where we'll be using an appointment scheduling application to maximize our productivity. And finally, we'll see all these things in a demo. So please participate on the poll that is on your screen right now. So how do you currently schedule appointments? Do you use phone calls? Do you use emails? Please poll in your answers in the for the question. So I'll wait for a few seconds for the poll to be complete. I hope you guys are able to answer the poll. Thank you for your answers. So what are the common ways that we currently engage with our leads? We have a lot of time-tested and traditional methodologies. We use phone calls, we use outbound emails, or we use messaging apps, and in certain cases, businesses use web forms. When you take all these different, methods of communication, there is always some sort of gap or area where we'll be able to enhance or increase the efficiency of all these different processes. So let me take you through an example to illustrate this. Let's assume I wish to book an appointment with my lead using email. So what I'll ideally do, I'll send an email to my lead stating that I would like to book an appointment with them and I would request for 3 different time slots. My lead gets back to me with 3 different time slots of his choice. Then I'll check with my calendar, pick one specific time slot, book a meeting, send an email with meeting links, all the important details, and I'll send it over to my client. So there is a lot of back and forth conversations in this specific process. Now this process also doesn't take into consideration that the practical difficulties that accompany scheduling. Let's say, what if it takes for the client to respond, what if it takes more time for the client to respond to the meeting email, or let's say if his emails end up in spam. Well, what if he is unable to respond to a meeting on a respond to an email on a specific date? So there are a lot of practical difficulties into these traditional scheduling methodologies, which will elongate your sales cycles beyond what is required. So what we can do is you can implement an appointment scheduling software or solution in here, which will cut down your back and forth conversations and will help you streamline your scheduling process. So here is where Zoho Bookings comes into play, which is a holistic appointment scheduling application which helps two people find the right time to meet each other. In addition to this, you'll also be able to provide your clients an simpler and much more easier appointment scheduling application. In addition to this, Zoho Bookings is an application that ties different aspects of scheduling appointments together. So you'll be able to collect details from your client, get your appointment details, you will be able to collect payments, you'll be able to send emails, SMS. So there are different aspects to scheduling, and Zoho Bookings ties all of those different aspects into a single application. So when it comes to using Zoho Bookings to accelerating your sales processes, there are 2 ways of doing this. One is to position Zoho Bookings at the top of your sales pipeline. So whenever somebody makes an appointment, all these details can be set, pushed into Zoho CRM. So this is one way of doing things. And the other way that we can do is, you might have built, workflows inside Zoho CRM. So in between stages, or whenever you wish to move a deal from one stage to another, you might have to come across cases where you might have to talk to your leads. In such cases, instead of going with the traditional way of scheduling like phone calls and emails, you'll be able to use Zoho Bookings and you will be able to schedule appointments seamlessly. So these are some ways of using Zoho Bookings. Today we'll be looking at the first point, where we'll position Zoho Bookings as the entry point of our sales pipeline. Now, what are some of the benefits of doing this? So with Bookings, I'll quickly give you an idea of how Zoho Bookings works. Zoho Bookings works with something called as a booking link. So whenever you share this booking link to your leads, what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to access your booking page, which will contain the day, all your available dates, available times. They'll be able to choose a date, time, fill in the necessary details that you have requested for, and they'll be able to book an appointment. So the need for multiple back and forth conversations is completely eliminated, and you will be able to schedule an appointment within just a matter of few seconds. And you'll also be able to collect appointments round the clock. Let's say for with the traditional methods like phone calls, emails, you have to be present there in order to collect appointments. You have to be the person who has to manually fix meetings, or send emails. But with an appointment scheduler like Bookings, you're not required. You can completely automate the process. All you have to do is set your availability in there, and it will take care of the rest of the things for you. In addition to this, it also in addition to removing your dependency in order to schedule an appointment, you also provide an independence to your client, so that they'll be able to book appointments on their own. They'll be able to cancel, reschedule. So they'll be able to do all this on their own. So I'll walk you through a demo on all this, but I would like to give a brief idea on how it works before taking you further. So in addition to this, as I told you earlier, you will be able to push all these details into your CRM dashboard. So some key features include, you'll be able to automate the scheduling process. So as we all know, it is important to capitalize on a lead's peak moment of interest. So they might be exploring your product, and if they are trying to book a call, and if we put a lead, or if we put them through an elongated booking process, they might lose interest and they might go to a different line. So we do not want that. And in order to capitalize on that peak moment of interest, we will use Zoho Bookings to get an meeting booked, and we will provide instant resolution to our clients. So they'll get to know immediately when they book an appointment. In addition to this, you'll have complete control over how you showcase your booking pages. Like, you'll be able to tweak your booking page with your own logos, themes, layouts. Your booking page URLs, you will be able to tweak it, and you'll also be able to customize the email templates based on your preferences. In addition to this, you might have multiple different workflows set up in your CRM. So for each and every single one of these workflows, you can create multiple different services, so that you can collect appointments on a case, specific use case. You can collect appointments based on that. So since I already told you that Zoho Bookings works using booking links, you can propagate the booking links using multiple methods. So you'll be able to use emails, instant messaging apps, or you'll also be able to embed this booking page on your website, so that directly all the appointments come through your website. So we'll explore all this in just a second. In today's use case, we have a sample microfinance lending institution called as ZUG, which lends out loans for businesses and also offers post-sale support. So in order to fix meetings, it uses Zoho Bookings, and in order to sign contracts with these leads, it uses Zoho Contracts. So this is a sample, very brief workflow on how this works. So initially, prospect makes an appointment through Zoho Bookings, and the actual meeting also happens. When they book an appointment, all these details are pushed into Zoho CRM. After being pushed into Zoho CRM, Zoho Contracts will come into play, which Akhil will take you through in detail. So I'll walk you through the demo right now. So this is the sample business ZUG page. So in this page, I have given all the loan details regarding this page, loan offerings, all the services that ZUG offers. You will be able to view all that. In addition to this, you have the booking page over here. This is what your leads will see. Let's say a lead lands on this page, and they wish to book an appointment on December 31st. And on December 31st, these are the different available time slots. So let's assume they wish to book an appointment at 1 p.m. Now, they'll be asked to fill in a few details. So in this case, name, email, and their contact number. Now, if you wish to, opt or, ask any specific questions to your client, that is also possible. So let's say in this case, my lead wish to opt for a loan. So he might type in, I would like to opt for a business loan. So you can collect as much as information as you would like, and it helps you tailor your appointments for each of these upcoming services. So whenever an appointment is booked, you have all the details as a summary over here. And if they wish to book another appointment, that is also possible. And you also have the corresponding meeting link present over here. All these details are again sent to your email, which we will configure in just a second. So when you head into the dashboard, you are greeted with the calendar view, which gives you an eagle-eyed view of all your upcoming appointments. So under the calendar view, you will be able to switch between day view, week view, or month view to view all your appointments. In addition to this, you also have the list view where you have all these appointments as a list. In addition to having all these appointments as a list, what you will be able to do is you will be able to click on any specific appointment and you will be able to view all the basic details regarding this appointment. Now, if you wish to view any other additional info for this appointment, like if you collect any additional information, all those details will be present here. Now, let's say in this specific case, the client wishes to reschedule his appointment and calls me up for rescheduling this particular session. Please note that they'll be able to do this on their own as well. And Zoho Bookings also provides the host members the flexibility to reschedule client appointments. Let's say this client Toby is on the run and he wishes to, he calls me up and he wishes to reschedule. So in this case, as a host member, I'll be able to, simply use appointment statuses and I'll be able to reschedule it to either a different date, or you can completely reschedule it to a different staff member. So under this account, we have Siva and Mike. So let's assume I wish to transfer this appointment to Mike on 30th of December at 12:15 p.m. If you would like to provide reasons, you can do that, or you can confirm your reschedule. And within just a matter of few seconds, rescheduling becomes much more easier. So this is how you will be able to reschedule, cancel, or you can, even mark appointments as completed or no show. So you have multiple different appointment statuses. These statuses will come in handy later as triggers. So whenever you switch from one status to another, you can use these statuses to trigger email notifications to clients. Next up, we have the My Profile section where you'll be able to set your working hours over here. In addition to this, you'll also be, able to set your special working hours, or let's say when you're working on a holiday, you'll be able to add those times over here. Whenever you add something over here, the booking page will reflect all the settings that you have provided here. Let's say if you're on a leave during a working day, you can also mark your unavailability over here. You will also be able to embed this booking page on your website as a widget. All you have to do is you have to simply copy this iframe code, paste it on your website as we have done here, and you are good to go. So when it comes to services, you will be able to create 4 different types of services in bookings. I'll walk you through all these services in a very brief manner, and I'll explain one-on-one in detail. So one-on-one, as the name suggests, it helps 2 people find the right time to meet each other. Then we have group booking, where you have a single host organizing a session for multiple different attendees. Then we also have the resource booking, which can be used to rent out resources, meeting rooms, conference rooms, either internally or externally. And finally, we have the collective booking, where you have a panel of host members and you would like to have or collect the availability of all the different host members, find a common time in which all these host members are available, and you'll be able to book an appointment with a specific lead. So this is where collective booking comes in handy. So in this case, let's quickly select a one-on-one, create a one-on-one service. So whenever you're trying to create a one-on-one service, you'll be asked to choose a workspace. So workspace are nothing but the different locations or different departments that you offer your services from. In this case, I have my business Zilker operating from Australia and USA. So let's assume I would like to offer one of my services from USA. So in this case, I'll say loan consultation call. So I'll name the service. You will be able to set the duration of the service. Let's say this is a 1-hour service. If you would like to add buffer times, you can do so. So you can set up pre or post buffers. In addition to that, if you would like to offer paid appointments, we also have a possibility over here. So you can charge for your appointments. In this case, let's set it as free. And There are different ways that you can use Zoho Bookings to meet with your clients. If you would like to meet them online, you can integrate with a meeting tool of your choice. We have multiple different meeting tools that you can integrate with. So in this case, I only have integrated Zoho Meetings in this Zoho Bookings account. So in addition to this, if you would like to meet them in person, you can also provide your office address. So let's say my office headquarters is in USA, and I'll provide my Zilker USA's office headquarters address. So here I'll put in my sample address, and these details will be automatically sent to my clients if it is set in my email. So you'll be able to customize all that. So now let's quickly select an online meeting, and the staff members responsible for this specific service would be both Mike and myself. So we have a service created. So under service information, you will be able to view all the basic details regarding the service. Again, you will be able to customize pre or post buffers, set price, all the basic details over here. If you would like to add more staff members to the service, click on edit. You will be able to do that. Or if you would like to remove existing staff members from the service, again, you will be able to do that from this tab as well. So in addition to this, you also have the service availability option, which helps you control how your availability is showcased to clients. So there are certain businesses where clients book very far in the future and they do not show up. Let's say right now it's December and clients book an appointment for January and February and they do not show up. Your time slot is wasted, and it could have been another potential client which has finally ended up in a no-show. So what you can do is you can set up a limited date range. So let's say under custom date range, I would like to set up my availability between December 10th to December 31st. So only in this duration, you will be able to collect appointments. Now, if you would like to have a dynamic way of doing this, that is also possible. Head into service preferences, where you have the booking notice. So under the booking notice, let's say I wish to collect my appointments with a 3-day buffer. So people will be able to book appointments only 3 days from today and within the next 33 days. So it provides me a 30-day scheduling window in which people will be able to book appointments, and this will change for every single day. So once you're set it up, you're good to go. There is no other changes that needs to be done. So in addition to this, you'll also be able to link your terms and conditions. If you would like to set up a last minute cancellation window, that is also possible again. And in addition to this, if you would like to adjust your scheduling interval, like how often your appointment slots are shown to clients, that is also possible. So we have a lot of different customization options when it comes to offering your services. Next up, we have service notifications. So earlier we talked about appointment statuses and how we use appointment statuses to track all the different appointments, right? So whenever an appointment is booked, you can set Zoho Bookings in such a way that an email notification is triggered. So you have the staff and the customers tab. So let's say I wish to send a notification to my staff member and my customers whenever an appointment is booked, whenever it is rescheduled, and whenever it is cancelled. So these are the different statuses. Whenever I switch from one status to another, Zoho Bookings checks if this is enabled. If it is enabled, email notifications are sent to clients. Now, for customers, all the different notifications that I would like to enable is already turned on. For staff members, I would like to enable my book, reschedule, and cancel notification. Now, if you would like to customize this email template, you'll be able to, as I said earlier, everything that you see here is completely customizable. Change logos, yes. Content, yes. So we also have or offer multiple different variables. So all these values that you see inside percentages, these are dynamic variables that change for each and every single appointment. Now we offer a bunch of different variables that you can insert as you would like, and the entire thing that you see here is completely customizable based on your preferences. Now, if you also have a HTML code, you can put in your HTML code and make sure the email template is in line with your organization's branding preferences. So in addition to this, you'll be able to send 3 reminders either days, minutes, or hours before an appointment. All you have to do is the same procedure applies. Click on it. Once you enable it, you will be able to customize the template. In addition to this, you will be able to send SMS notifications to both the staff and customers, text notifications. The only thing to note is that you'll have to have a third-party SMS subscription, premium subscription with any of the third-party SMS providers to be able to send SMS. But sending emails is completely free, so no worries about that. Then we have the booking form where you will be able to collect different types of information from your clients. So we offer a bunch of different fields. So you can use single line, checkboxes, drop downs. So you can add n number of fields as you would like, mark them as mandatory or optional, and you can collect information from your clients when they book an appointment. So this helps you offer personalized, appointments, or offer a true scheduling experience for your clients. In addition to this, you'll also be able to embed this booking page as a widget on your website, as I said earlier. Finally, we have the service booking URL. So in Zoho Bookings, there are multiple different service booking URLs. You have the service booking URL, and you have the staff specific booking URL, and you also have the workspace booking URL. To access this, click on the booking page button, where you will get access to all these different URLs. So what is the difference between these? When you share a service specific booking URL, people will be able to book for only that specific service. Now, let's say if clients have access to my specific booking URL, what happens is, this is a staff specific booking URL where they'll be able to choose between any of the services that I'm offering. So that is one possibility. Or you also have the workspace booking URL, which will have all the services listed under a specific workspace. So these are the difference between the different URLs that we have. Next up, we will be able to customize the booking page based on our preferences. To do this, click on settings, workspaces. So under workspaces, you have the booking page settings where you'll be able to change logos, titles, contact information, social information. If you would like to change themes, so we offer multiple different layouts. In addition to all these layouts, for each and every single one of these layouts, you have multiple different color options, and some of these layouts also supports background images that you can add. So these are some ways you can completely customize your booking page based on your preferences. And we also have reports. Let's say you have collected appointments in a certain duration and you would like to generate a report based on that. Now I would like to generate a report based on the amount of bookings that has happened, and I would like to collect the reports for Mike. So I would like to know how many appointments Mike has attended. So in this case, I would like to collect all the appointments that is taken under 2024. So you'll be able to generate reports based on these criteria. You can tweak the criteria based on your preferences. Like for each and every single thing, you will have multiple sub criteria. Now, if you do not like to generate a report on bookings, if you like to do it on revenue, that is also possible. And again, under revenue, you have multiple subcategories. So using reports, you will be able to generate, all these reports based on your preferences. Finally, we have the integrations where you will be able to integrate with calendars. So the integration with calendars, what it does is it ensures that all your appointments are synced between both the systems, Zoho Bookings and the external calendar you integrate with. These are some of the calendars that we integrate with. When you integrate both of these tools, appointments are synced, and it ensures that any kind of double booking is avoided. So there might be some personal appointments on your external calendar, which will also be synced inside Zoho Bookings, and that specific slot will be disabled since there is an appointment already present on your external calendar. So this is how the Zoho calendar integration with Zoho Bookings works. Next up, we have the video conferencing integration, where these are some of the providers that we integrate with. When you integrate with these providers, and when when an appointment gets booked, meeting links will be generated. They will be sent to your client through emails. In addition to this, your clients will get a link in the booking page booking summary when they book an appointment. So if you would like to collect payments, these are some of the providers that we integrate with. Simply with any of these providers, and you'll be able to collect payments. And finally, we have the other integrations where you'll be able to integrate with some of the SMS providers, and you'll be able to send SMS to your clients. In addition to this, we have the Zoho CRM integration. So here you will be able to customize how all the information from Zoho Bookings gets mapped into Zoho CRM. So let's say I wish to push all this information. So Toby has booked an appointment, right? So I wish to push him as a lead inside my CRM. So I'll control all that over here. So I have already set it up. So choose the CRM module to add new Zoho Bookings customers. So I would like to add him as a lead, and I have mapped all the corresponding fields over here. Now, in addition to this, if you were to collect any custom information, all those custom information can be mapped to the meetings module. So you will be able to customize all that over here. And Zoho Bookings has an extension inside Zoho CRM, which you can use to book appointments directly from Zoho CRM. So let's say under the in Zoho CRM, you have a button called New Appointment button. So whenever you click on that specific button, you will be able to trigger certain booking pages based on your preferences. So let's say I wish to trigger the general enquiry booking page whenever I click on the New Appointment button. So let's head into the CRM dashboard to see how this works. Yes, we have Toby's information synced over here. So we have all the details. In addition to this, if you click on New Appointment button, the corresponding booking page that you have chosen over here will pop up. So we have chosen the general inquiry page, and it will pop up over here. So this is how you can use Zoho Bookings to streamline your scheduling processes. In addition to this, it is closely knit with Zoho CRM, so that you'll be able to push all the details into Zoho CRM and track your leads from there. Now, Akhil from Zoho Contracts will take over and will help you understand how you can use Zoho Contracts to streamline your contact management.
Yeah. So typically the sales team, after closing the deal, needs to approach the legal team to initiate the agreements. This could involve a lot of back and forth emails. Let's see how the integration of Zoho CRM and Zoho Contracts solves this problem. I will show how a sales rep from ZUG, the microfinancing institution, can initiate a loan agreement in Zoho Contracts from within Zoho CRM. Let's go to Zoho CRM now. So this is the home page of Zoho CRM. Now, to initiate this integration, you need to install the Zoho Contracts plugin. To do that, you go to the setup, and in the marketplace, you click on Zoho. You scroll down and you click on Zoho Contracts, and then you install the plugin. After installing the plugin, you go to settings, and in the settings, you need to map all the fields in Zoho CRM to the corresponding fields in Zoho Contracts. For example, in the general settings, the counterparty type is the customer, the requester department here is a sales. You can also map the accounts module fields in Zoho CRM to the corresponding counterparty fields in Zoho Contracts. For example, here, the counterparty name is mapped to the account name, and the counterparty address is mapped to the account address in Zoho CRM. Similarly, the contact name and the email address is also mapped. Once you map these fields, you can associate a contract type. You can assign a contract type to the corresponding account owner or the sales rep. For example, here the loan agreement is assigned to Linda. After you assign the contract type, you can map the fields in that particular contract type. The fields are loading to the corresponding fields in Zoho CRM. As you can see here, the party A in Zoho Contracts is mapped to the deal owner. The party B in Zoho Contracts is mapped to the account name. Once you map the fields, you click on Save. You save the settings. Once you save the settings, if you go to the Deals module in Zoho CRM and you click on a particular deal, let's say you click on Chapman, you see the Request Contract button. Once you click on the Request Contract button, you are taken to a pop-up window. Here you select the contract type, I'm selecting loan agreement here. As you can see, all the fields map have already been filled in. Now for this particular demo, I'm filling in the mandatory details. Title is loan agreement, contract term is indefinite, effective date on execution, tax, all tax included. I click on send. Click on continue. Now a contract is getting automatically created in Zoho Contracts. We'll wait for a bit for the contract to be created. The contract is getting created. The contract has been successfully created in Zoho Contracts now. So you have the option to view the contract in Zoho Contracts, download the draft contract document, or email the draft contract document as an attachment. Let us come back to Zoho CRM and see the attachments list here. So here you can see that particular contract attachment that was created. You can download the attachment and you can send it, let's say, to the legal team for signature. You also have the Zoho contracts list at the bottom. Here, the sales team can initiate the further process with respect to contract management. For example, if the contract is in the approved state, the account owner or the sales rep can send the contract for negotiation from within Zoho CRM. Similarly, if the contract is in the negotiated state, the sales rep can request the contract to be sent for signature. And if the contract is active, the sales rep can also request an amendment of the contract from within Zoho CRM. So this is how the integration of Zoho Contracts and Zoho CRM helps streamline the deal closure process and the subsequent contract execution process. And this is how Zoho Contracts helps to promote cross-functional collaboration between the sales and the legal team with the Zoho CRM integration. Now, let me change tab and take you to the Zoho Contracts. So here is the dashboard of Zoho Contracts. Now, before I start talking about Zoho Contracts, I would want to know how many of you have used Zoho Contracts before. Srinidhi, would you please run the poll? Thank you so much, everyone. So once you open Zoho Contracts, this is the screen that you see, which is the dashboard of Zoho Contracts. Now let's go to the Contracts module in Zoho Contracts. So the Contracts module in Zoho Contracts is the central repository where you see all the contracts document in a single place. You have the advanced search as well as filter options where you can view the critical contract information whenever you need them. In Zoho Contracts, there are two ways in which you can create a contract. You can either import a contract. The contract import can be in the draft state, sign an active state, sign a not yet active state, or in the expired state. Or you can create a new contract from scratch by selecting a contract type. A contract type in Zoho Contracts is not just a contract template. The contract type defines all the primary attributes of the contract. For example, the contract template, the intent of the contract, and also the workflows that are associated with that particular contract. So you select a contract type. Here I'm selecting the loan agreement, and then if I click on continue, I'm taken to the new contract form or the contract creation wizard. Here you fill in the basic details and then you click on save and continue. Once you do that, a contract draft is automatically created in Zoho Contracts. So here, if you go to the document editor panel, you see all the formatting options. This is because Zoho Contracts is tightly integrated with Zoho Writer, which is a full-blown word processor. So you have all the formatting as well as collaborating capabilities of a word processor. If you go to the closest tab, you can add or remove a particular clause. And there are also fields that you can fill in. Yes. Now, you can collaborate with other individuals in real time. So if you click on share, then you can add a collaborator. You can assign permission to the collaborator. And if you share the contract document with the collaborator, you can collaborate with the collaborator in real time to draft the contract. Once you complete the draft, you click on draft complete. And once the contract draft is completed, it is ready to be submitted for approval. So once you submit the contract draft for approval, you can see that the tab here automatically changes to approval, and there is an activity tab where you see both the approvers. As you can see here with the color, that the approval email was sent to both the approvers, but they are yet to view the contract document and they are yet to approve or reject the contract document. So approval process in Zoho Contracts happens in two ways. There are sequential approval workflows wherein the approval request is sent in a hierarchical order, and there is also a parallel approval workflow where the approval request is sent to both the approvers or as many approvers as you want simultaneously. As you can see on the screen, this is an example of a parallel approval workflow. So let us see how the contract document looks for the approver. So I'm changing tabs to the approver. So here, as you can see, that Anna Illa is one of the approvers. To view the document that needs to be approved, she can go to the activities tab and she can click pending approvals. So as you can see, these are the contracts that are pending approvals. She clicks on the loan agreement, that is the document she needs to approve. The document is getting loaded now. Yes. Let me go back once again. Go to activities, go to pending approvals, click on the document that needs to be approved, wait for the document to load. Yes, so sorry for the slow internet, the document is still getting loaded. So basically, once the approver approves the contract document, I go back. You see the activity tab here. For example, Anna has approved, the approval email was sent. Anna viewed the approval document and she also approved the contract document. So once the contract is approved, the contract is ready to be sent for negotiation. Now, typically in a normal contract management process, negotiation happens over multiple emails back and forth. The problem with this process is that when there are multiple cycles of negotiation, then it is difficult to track the aspects of contracts that were negotiated and the number of negotiation cycles. Zoho Contracts solves this problem by providing password protected link to the counterparty primary contact for negotiation. So here you can send the contract document to the counterparty primary contract for negotiation. You can also add more collaborators for negotiation. Now you send the contract document for negotiation. And let us see how the contract document looks for the negotiator. So this is how the contract document looks for the negotiator. This is the controlled version of Zoho Contracts. As you can see, there is no document editor panel and other tabs. Also, the counterparty or the negotiating party did not have a subscription of Zoho Contracts for negotiation. So here the negotiator can suggest changes, and the negotiators can also add contextual comments, and then they can finish the review. Also, the negotiator can compare changes between the previous version. For example, this is the current cycle, which is cycle 4. The negotiator will be able to view the past cycle and compare the changes of what has happened in the previous cycle. Now let us look at how this looks for the contract owner. As you can see here that the negotiation process is complete. If you click on view previous cycle, you see the various cycles of negotiation that has happened place. You can also view the summary. For example, if I click on view summary for cycle 2, you see the summary for the number of changes that were made, number of comments, and the willingness to proceed for signature and so on. If you click on view document, you can also see the document that was sent for negotiation for that particular cycle. Now, once the contract document is negotiated, it is ready to be sent for signature. So to send the contract document for signature, you can select the organization representative. You can select as many organization representative as you want. You can also select the counterparty representative. Again, you can select as many counterparty representatives as you want. You can also add other representatives. Those are basically witnesses. You can assign a signing order as well, and then you can save and send the document for signature. Here you are redirected to the Zoho Sign UI because Zoho Contracts is tightly integrated with Zoho Sign. So here you see the contract document. So you have the drag and drop fields. For example, this is the field for Linda. And here you have the field for the counterparty. And then after assigning the field, you can send the contract document for signature. Click on confirm. Now the contract document is sent for signature. So all the parties involved in the signature will receive an email like this. And once they click on start signing, they click on proceed to signature to the document. They are taken to the Zoho Sign UI. They select their willingness for signing. Then they select the date and then the signature, and they click on finish. So the contract has been signed successfully. Now, hello, I see a conversation in the background. Is that a question that is being asked?
I don't think so, Akhil. I think we can go ahead. I don't think it was a question.
All right, I'll continue with the demo then. Once the contract document is signed, the contract status is changed to active, as you can see here right now. Now, once the contract status is changed to active, you have the option to go to the agreement history. If you go to the agreement history, you can see the contract that was signed, which looks like this. You can also view the certificate of completion, which is the digital certificate of completion from Zoho Sign. Now we saw how Zoho Contracts helps streamline the contract lifecycle process from authoring to execution. Now, Zoho Contracts assist in the post-execution activities as well. For example, if you want to amend a contract, then the amendment letter is automatically created in Zoho Contracts. So here is the amendment letter for that particular contract. Here you see the whereas clause, which was the previous clause, and you see the now therefore clauses, which are the amended aspects of the particular contract. And then you can send this amendment letter to all the stakeholders involved with respect to the contract for their approval. This process is also available for renewals, extension, and terminations of contracts as well. Now we saw how Zoho Contracts helps streamline the contract lifecycle from authoring to execution as well as post-execution. Now let us see how Zoho Contracts helps mitigate business risk. While the few aspects that I discussed before, for example, contract templates and approval workflows do mitigate business risk, the main reasons for business risk in a contract are unfulfilled obligations. But in Zoho Contracts, we have a contextual obligations module that helps you track and manage all your contractual obligations. To set up an obligations, you need to fill in the title, the description of the obligation, then there is an obligation category, you assign the obligation owner, assign the priority as high, medium, or low, and the task type, which is recurring as well as non-recurring. So after you fill in the details, you add the obligation, and the obligation has been added successfully. You can track these obligations under the activities module. As you can see here for that particular contract owner, these are the obligations that are being assigned. So here, if you click on that particular obligation, you can see the status of that obligation, and you can also change the status of that obligation. This is how Zoho Contracts helps mitigate business risk. Now, let us cover another aspect of Zoho Contracts, that is how Zoho Contracts helps improve governance. This is what you saw before at the beginning of this demo of Zoho Contracts, which is the dashboard of Zoho Contracts. Here you get a concise view of all the critical contract information that you need. For example, contracts by statuses, contracts, the pending contracts, the contracts pending approvals. If you have assigned value to your contract, you will be able to see the gain or loss of your terminated contracts. On the right-hand side, you will be able to have a calendar view of Zoho Contracts, which will guide you through the important dates and the activities associated with that date. And you can also view the events as well. Now, Zoho Contracts comes with 35 plus industry standard reports that you can use to not only improve the efficiency of your contract management process, but also to gain better business outcomes. For example, you can see the contracts by statuses. There are also activity or milestone reports where you see the contracts pending approvals, contracts pending negotiation, and so on. You also have the performance report. For example, top contracts with maximum negotiation cycles and top contracts with long negotiation time. As you can see here, the master services agreement is taking more time to complete. So this gives you an indication of effectively identifying the bottleneck in your contract management process and resolving it. You also have the clauses report, for example, clauses versus the number of contracts. This comes especially handy if you want to make organization-wide policy changes. For example, the confidentiality obligations clause is contained in 50 contracts. Now, if you are changing the confidentiality obligations clause throughout, then you know how many contracts has got the confidentiality obligations clause. Now, moving on, Zoho Contracts helps you track all the activities granularly. Let's see how Zoho Contracts helps you track the user activities. You click on a particular user in the admin tab. This is one of the users. You click on the user, so you get an overview of all the activities and associated with that particular user. If you go to the activities tab, the admin will be able to see all the activities performed by that particular user in a chronological order. Activities can also be tracked at an individual contract level. For example, this is a contract, and then you go to the activities tab, you will see all the activities associated with that particular contract, again in a chronological order. Zoho Contracts also maintains an activity log. For example, this is the admin audit log, which indicates all the activities performed by the various users in that particular organization. The admin will be able to see. You also have the user access log, which shows the timestamp of various activities by various users when they logged in and the geolocation from where they logged in. You also have the download logs, which shows all the details that were downloaded, all the data that was downloaded. Now, talking about data, you have the advanced data protection settings as well, where you can decide what data of the counterparty you need to capture. For example, you have the email address. The name is captured by default. You have the email address, job title, or phone number. Now, if you want to anonymize the counterparty data, you go to a counterparty module, you click on a counterparty, you select the counterparty, and you have the option of stopping to process the counterparty data. So this is how Zoho Contracts helps improve governance. Now, let me summarize this quick demo for you. So we saw how Zoho Contracts help streamline the contract lifecycle by automating whatever is possible. So we saw how Zoho Contracts helps you draft the contract, assign approval workflow, negotiate the contract, sign the contract, and manage the contract post-execution with amendments, renewals, and terminations. You saw how Zoho Contracts helps mitigate business risk with the contextual obligations module. You saw how Zoho Contracts helps improve governance with the help of a comprehensive dashboard and also the 35 plus industry standard reports that Zoho Contracts provides, and also the granular activity tracking along with the data protection settings. You also saw how Zoho Contracts helps promote cross-functional integration, in this case between the sales as well as the legal teams, with the integration of Zoho Contracts with Zoho CRM. So this is how Zoho Contracts helps address the 4 pillars of contract management. I hope I was able to share all the info with you in this brief product overview.